You are highly welcomed. This is the channel of Imanzi City of Mainz Nursery and Primary School.
Good evening and welcome to our English editions tonight. This is Ndaiza Donato coming up. These are the headlines. The inhabitants of Nyamasheke district are very excited. The Ukraine may disappear on the world map. Now, the detailed information. The inhabitants of Nyamasheke district are very excited for the reduction of certain commodities on the market. Before the reduction was made, getting the Irish potatoes was not easy. But as the government reduced the price, 1 kilogram of Irish potatoes was reduced from 700 to 460 Rwandan franc. The Ukraine may disappear on the world map if President Zelensky is not careful to listen to what President Putin is requesting. President Putin of Russia is jubilating after seizing all the war material sent by United States of America to support Ukraine. Not only the material were taken, but also many soldiers of NATO were killed. President Putin has vowed to silence Zelensky if he refused to come to his senses. This is where our edition ends. On behalf of entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you for being with us to this edition. Wonder Television News. Stay happy and have a wonderful week ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday. It is at 8 p.m. It is time for news. Today's news is brought by Shalila. Let me start with the headlines. In Muhanga, their thieves pretend that they are police officers and they get others bicycles. The police are asking to avoid bad things when they have sins. Ruhango, after raising a child in 5 years, she is searching for her parents. They are asking why little goods have been changed for their price. In other countries, in Burundi, General Bunyoni have been arrested. In South Africa, 10 people died in KwaZulu-Natal. In sports, yesterday Arsenal got 3 goals and Southampton got also 3 goals. Yesterday Liverpool had 3 goals and Nottingham had 2. Today Newcastle will play against Tottenham. Thank you for watching news.
Good morning, everyone. It is 5 p.m. and it is time for news. Today's news is brought by Murunzi Sair Koderic. Let's start with the headlines. President Paul Kagame arrived in Doha, Qatar for a business visit. The Defense Minister General Murasira Albert participated in the opening of International Military Partnership in Brussels. Breaking news in sports is that Police Football Club defeated APRFC in a friendly football match. News in details. President Paul Kagame arrived in Doha, Qatar for a business visit. He met President of Qatar and discussed about Qatar investments in Rwanda. Defense Minister General Albert Murasira participated in the opening of International Military Partnership meeting in Brussels. The meeting brought together 100 army generals from different countries. Breaking news in sports is that Police Football Club defeated APR Football Club in a friendly football match that was held in Nyamirambo at Pele Stadium. Thank you for listening to our news. Our news has come to the end. Bye-bye, see you next time.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Teta Blessing. I'm here to say news. It is 8 a.m. in the evening. Let me start from the heading. Yesterday a car crashed a motorcycle in Rumbogo. A girl who was selling MTN found 3 men in front of her and the right arm was cut off with a panga from those 3 months. Sorry, it was 3 months, I said 2. So it was at night. The next day they took her to the hospital. And there was a little girl who was only 3 years old who got sick of the heart, and after 4 months he died with 4 years old.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is time for news. News is brought by Ganzai and Gael. Let me start with the headlines. In sports, yesterday, Police FC played with Apple FC in the evening. There is a car which knocked down 2 people in the road. Remembering genocide against Tutsi in 1994. The price of food was reduced last Wednesday. Russia is fighting against Ukraine. Before I end, let me put my news in details. In sports, yesterday Police FC played with Apple FC and ended up Police FC won. There is a car which knocked down 2 people in the road, and that driver were not carefully at all in driving. Remembering genocide against Tutsi in 1994. Some people came and remembered people who died in genocide. The price of food was reduced last Wednesday. Russia is fighting against Ukraine. Thank you.
Good morning, I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. It's 9 a.m. and it's time for news on Prime TV. Today news is brought by ZINDIRO-AZAM. Let me start with the headlines. Plots of land in GASABO district to NURSERY sector, remembering people who died in genocide against Tutsi in 1994. There is a party thrown in America of musicians. First, plots of land in GASABO district. There are many plots of land in Kigali City, GASABO district, NURSERY sector. Prices are very cheap. Everyone can be able to buy a plot of land in order to live in a good place. I can advise everyone from different places to go there and buy a plot of land because it's near church, market, hospitals, and other infrastructure. If you need more information, you can call 078 325 64 61 or send a message on this number. Second, remembering people who died in 1994 in Kigali City in Bumbogo sector on the memorial site called Nzuzu. On 1994, 12th April is the day we'll never forget, and it's also one of the hardest history of Rwanda. On that date, many people from different places like Gishaka, Birembo, and Nzuzu, and other places is where people was moving to. After that, people called NDERA were surrounding them and started shooting at them, cutting them using different tools like hoe, panga, spade, and other difficult tools. When people are going to remember theirs, sometimes they have emotions and feelings. They go there with flowers. Our generation will fight genocide never again. Third, the party of musicians in America. Fans of music, there is a party in America in New York. Giza, Bruce Melody, and other known musicians are there. Many people from different places came in that party and enjoyed. But musicians told us that it's difficult for them to move from one country to another.
Good morning out there. It is 5 p.m. It's time for news, and today's news is read by Shomeroy Arnold. Let me start with the headlines. We have 100 days of remembering genocide against Tutsi. Eid al-Fitr for Muslims. In sports, Fegrafa executive directors resigned. News in details. As we know, we have been in holidays of the week of remembering genocide against Tutsi in 1994, but are still in 100 days of remembering. 21st on Friday was holidays of Eid al-Fitr in Islamic religion, and our President, His Excellency Paul Kagame, wished all Muslims happy day on that day. On 20th, Minicom announced that some prices reduced on some foods, example rice, Irish potatoes, and maize flour. In sports, on Wednesday, April 19, 2023, Olivier Nizeyimana resigns as Fegrafa president. Before I finish, let me repeat the headlines. We have 100 days of remembering genocide against Tutsi. Eid al-Fitr for Muslims. In sports, Fegrafa executive directors.
3 p.m. and it is time for news. News is brought by Tiana Zakari, and let me start by headlines. The USA military has evacuated American diplomats and their families from Khartoum. President Joe Biden has said the operation was fast and clean, a USA official said. Fewer than 100 people were reportedly evacuated early on Sunday, when 3 helicopters landed near the USA embassy to collect them. The French Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced it was also evacuating its citizens and nationals of other European Union and allied countries. However, both Sudan's regular army and its opponents, a paramilitary force called the Rapid Support Forces, have said that the evacuation convoy
was fired at after leaving the French embassy and had to turn back. They blamed each other for the attack. Speaking to our news agency, French authorities refused to comment on whether an attack had taken place, but they did say that the French military based in Djibouti is involved in the operation and that the aim is to get the evacuees to Djibouti. The Netherlands, Italy, Belgium, and Japan also say they have begun operations to evacuate their citizens. Meanwhile, there are reports that internet connectivity has almost totally collapsed in Sudan, which could seriously hinder the coordination of help for those trapped in Khartoum and other cities. The power struggle.
Good morning. It's me, your anchor, Imanzi. Let's start with the headline first. Global Anglican Gathering rejects blessing of same-sex couples, calls for communion research. Medical specialists conduct first liver surgery at Rwanda Military Hospital. This named the best bank of year for consecutive years. Reforms to improve compliance broaden base. In GASABO, suspected drug dealer arrested with 60 kilograms of cannabis. Looking at international news, Burundi launches manhunt for ex-prime minister amid allegation of coupling. UNICEF calls for concerted efforts to address routine immunization. Looking at sport headlines, FEBAFA President Olivier Nizeyimana resigns. Police and Apple FC played yesterday. Welcome back. Everyone, it is morning. It is time for news, and today's news is brought by Jesse. Let me start with the headlines. His Excellency Paul Kagame said that we will celebrate our New Year 2023. It will be done on Convention Center at 12 o'clock. People who want to see things that are beautiful we go out at 12 o'clock to see beautiful things. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.
Good morning, it's time for news. News is brought by Agaton Metashera. Let me start with the headlines. The weather forecast for tomorrow in Kigali. In Kigali tomorrow, 24th April, we shall have heavy clouds in the morning, which will produce rain in the afternoon and also in the evening. The sun will rise at 5 a.m. and sunset at 6:05 p.m. The weather in the morning will be at 26 Celsius, 17 Celsius in the evening. We shall continue to have rain until the end of April 2023, but it will not be heavy as in the past days. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4 p.m. Time for reading news at Ara TV. The news is brought to you by Akariza Gwagasore IV. Let me start with the headlines. There was a truck that made an accident in Chimirongo which was very bad. Heavy rain had been falling so much that people were killed and in very many issues. News in details. The truck made an accident at 10 o'clock. The truck knocked 12 people and 2 houses were destroyed. Very many police and ambulance intervened. People who were injured were taken to the hospital by ambulance. Heavy rain had been falling so much that it destroyed 2 people and were injured, and they were taken to the hospital. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Afternoon, it is 15 p.m. It is time for news, and today's news is brought to you by Laila. Let me start with the headline. Children should be well educated at school. People shouldn't fight in roads and other places. Today's weather is at 16 and 17 p.m. It will rain with the sun and 18, 19, 20 and 21 p.m. It will not rain and there will be only clouds. Suspected jihadists carry out deadly attack on NURSERY military camp in Mali. Sudan fight continues east of Congo. There are the M23 rebels. They have taken a lot of locality. Thank you for listening to my news.
Good evening, you are most welcome. It's time for news, and news are brought by Kuzgwa Edi. News concerns to Easter Day, which happened on 9th April, the day celebrated by all Christians of the world. Me, I celebrated it at Saint Michel as a memory of Christ's resurrection. There were many people, including His Excellence Cardinal Kambanda, priests, fellow Christians, journalists, and guests. The main message of the day was to wish the happiness of resurrection. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is at 1:30 a.m. News is read by Izere and Ileana. Let me start with the headlines. Today, children were advised to stay at home because of the public holiday of Ramadan. Today, the price of food has been reduced. USA gave a scholarship to students, and students were very happy. We're very happy. In sports, Apple FC won Lyon Sport. Let me start the news. Children are advised to stay home because of the public holiday of Ramadan, and they were saying that we are thanking the Muslims for the public holiday of Ramadan. They have been fasting for many days, and now their fasting is ending. The price of food has been reduced, and people were very happy. Like potatoes were at 600 francs and they are at 450 francs. Rice was at 1,400 francs and now it is at 800 francs. USA gave a scholarship to students, and students were very happy, thanking to USA so that they can continue studying in the university. In sports, Apple won Rayon Sport App because Apple has 8 and Rayon Sport has 5. Thank you.